I lived about, I would say about 15 minutes away from where these explosions happened. The reason why I hate loud noises is because of that day. 11/11 explosion had only just happened 3 months prior. And I said to her, Mom, I don't want to die. I don't know where we were running to. If God is not going to save us, then He's not going to save us. I'm too tired to run. And she was grabbing me. My people, welcome back to my channel. Today is a bit of a different video. I'll be talking about how I survived Nigerian bomb blast of 2002. So if that's something you're interested in, if there's a story you want to hear, then let's get right into the video. So I want to start off by sending my deepest condolences to anyone who may have lost a loved one or lost their homes in this explosion. It's a bit of a sensitive topic, and I thought, I'll talk about it today. I've been thinking about it over the past 2 weeks, and I came to realize I have actually not processed it. I haven't, let me not say that. I'll say I've processed it in bits and bobs, and every time I try to process it, it kind of gets a bit too much, so I pack it and then I process it again. So I've never really sat down with it, the whole trauma that came with it until this past week. And every time I've tried, to think, I've thought about it, or the memories just bring me tears, But yeah, I thought talking about it on my channel will help a bit. Make me to actually go through the whole process again, and then I'll also be sharing a bit of my story with you guys. Now, a lot of people categorize or talk about bravery and courage as different things. For some people it's going on a hiking trip, for some people it's packing their bags and moving to a different country. I think also going through some really traumatic experiences and being able to overcome and come out on the other side is, my definition of courage and bravery that I am fully owning. So a bit of background about this bomb blast. It actually took place on January the 27th of 2002. So this video is currently being filmed in 2001, which makes it approximately 19 years. In fact, actually, if it happened in January, so it's already 19 years, which is quite a long time. Now I'm showing my age. I'm showing my age on here, but yeah, which is a long time, since it happened. But for me, because I've come out on the other side, it might seem like it's a really long time, but for people who may have lost a lot in the process, it might still be very, very, very raw for them. So please be very sensitive in the comment section. I will just be talking about this bomb blast from what I remember, it's my depiction, it's my story, it's what happened in my head, how I remember it, how what I remember, what I recall of it. I'm not speaking about it from any other person's perspective or what's written on Wikipedia, but feel free to do your own research about the explosion and find out a bit more about what happened. In fact, I did ask a few family members of mine what they remember about it, and the way everyone sees it, obviously there are some facts to it that everyone would share, but the way it affected each and every one of us is very, very different. So I am just saying it the way I remember it, the way it affected me, the way I felt. So this is my story. But on that day, I remember it was a Sunday evening. And why I remember that it was a Sunday evening is because every Sunday we used to go to the hairdressers, myself and my sister, to make our hair in preparation for school on Monday. So we were at the hairdressers. I think I had finished my own, the hairdresser had finished making my own hair, and she was making my sister's. I was waiting, for my sister. I remember suddenly there was this it just felt very windy, and the salon doors were shaking and the salon windows were shaking, and it's just like nothing I've ever experienced ever in my life. It was like an earthquake. I haven't experienced an earthquake, but from what I imagine an earthquake to be, it was just like this massive vibration. And the next thing is I heard people screaming, people started screaming, and I don't know. It's not like it's Nigeria, it's a developing country even as at that time, so it's not like there was any news, like a flash news to tell everybody what was going on. Everybody was hearing about what was going on from the next person. So I remember the hairdresser stopped making my sister's hair, we all ran out, and my mom was already coming, walking down, because the salon was like maybe I'll say like a 5-minute walk from the house. It was very, very close to my house. So my mom was walking down to meet us, but she had sent the help to come and get us. Or I don't even remember if the help was already waiting with us while we were making our hair. And the next thing is I saw people running in different directions. Like I can see it in my head, you know. That's the thing about trauma, and that's the thing about trauma, and that's the thing about remembering events. Like it feels like it's here in my face, but it happened 19 years ago. So people were running in different directions. There was so much chaos, there was so much noise. It got dark very quickly. All the veranda doors, all the sliding doors, all the windows were shaking. Some of them were actually, because of the vibration was so much, some of them actually shattered. I have never seen that much pandemonium in my whole life. Like literally in my whole life, I have never seen that sort of confusion. And this was my world. Like this was happening. This was my world. This was happening to me. I was living in this world. This was my reality. So we were all running. It got dark real quick, like I said, and I don't know where we were running to. But all I know in that moment was I didn't want to die. I just wanted to be alive. Like I don't remember in my whole life wanting to be so alive like I wanted to be alive on that day. And I remember my mom was so tired because, like I said, she was heavily pregnant. She had one child on one hand. She was holding me. I remember on her left hand, the help was with us, who was, holding my brother, my baby brother, and holding my other brother. Oh God, loads of kids. As at that time, we were a family of 6. My mom was pregnant, heavily pregnant for my last sister. And I remember my mom wasn't running fast enough because she was pregnant. And I remember saying to her, excuse me, I remember like trying to get her hand off myself so that I could run to safety. And she was grabbing me. And at a point, she just stopped and said, if God is not going to save us, then he's not going to save us. I'm too tired to run. And I said to her, Mom, I don't want to die. And I literally said that to her, Mom, I don't want to die. And I remember her saying, if we're going to die, we're going to die. Because what else could she tell me in that moment? We were all confused. Nobody prepares you for these things. Like, nobody prepares you for these things. And don't forget, this happened in January of 2002. The 11/11 explosion had only just happened 3 months prior to that, in September, of the 11th, 2001. And I don't want to even imagine what those people went through. I don't even want to imagine. I'm just going to stick to what I remember about January 27, 2002 in Nigeria. So back to the story, my mom said, if we're going to die, we're going to die anyways. And I remember being so angry with her in that moment, because I'm like, what are you saying? If you want to die, die. Me, I don't want to die, and I was really trying to get him. Like, I was almost like, if I could, I don't even know why I didn't like bite her hand off my arm. And she was just, too tired to run, And I thank God that she didn't allow me run away or leave her, or she didn't leave me, because when everything calmed down and there was, everything became all right again, I learned that a lot of people actually got missing. In fact, a colleague of my dad had actually lost her daughter. Until today, she has not found her. And there's a pain that comes with not knowing, when people die and okay, they died, you know what their end was. There's a grave you can go to and grieve and remember them. And then there's a whole set of people who lose people, who their family members just go missing, and they don't know if they're alive, they don't know if they're dead. And that's a pain I never wish anyone. And one of my dad's colleagues actually lost her daughter, who was exactly the same age as me. So I don't know what would have happened if my mom actually left my hand that day, because I heard, and apparently what happened was a lot of people ran, and because it got dark, some people ran into canals, and canals are like big bodies of water, and some of them could not swim, so they drowned and they died. I think about 1,100 people died in the process, and over 20,000 people lost their homes. And this is according to the information I found, whilst I was doing my research. But it's about the trauma as well. Every time I think about it, like, I never even realized that the reason why I hate loud noises is because of that day. you know, because explosions are very loud, the sound is very loud, and now it's put me off fireworks completely. So even every new year when they setting off fireworks, I don't want to be around, I don't want to be involved, count me out. I don't like sudden loud noises, especially when I'm not ready for it, because it just takes me back to that day when I was not ready and suddenly everything was, you know. Anyways, back to the story. So my mom didn't let me go, and eventually, because my dad was taking his law degree at that point, so he wasn't even home on that Sunday evening. He had gone somewhere to do revision with some of his schoolmates or his course mates. So he wasn't with us. I remember my mom calling him, and just imagine a family being divided in that moment. You know, my mom was with the kids, 4 of us, heavily pregnant. My dad was, you know, somewhere doing his revision. So it's so much to process in such a short time. So anyways, we went to a family friend's house. Nobody was allowed to be in their house. Anyways, you couldn't even be in a house at that time because the vibrations, like I said, were enormous. So staying in a house would have just been the most unsafe thing to do. And do you know that not until last week did I actually research what caused that explosion? That is how much I have been running away from dealing with it. I have never actually sat down to find out what was the cause of that explosion. And according to what I read, which I'll put on the screen, a fire started in a marketplace very close to the naval or air force base, where there had been some explosives in the ground that had been left carelessly, I don't know. And then that fire obviously set off these explosives. So yeah, I think that's what caused, you know, led to the whole explosion, which I never actually researched until this week. Anywho, so we got to our family friend's house and we were there with them until things calmed down. And I don't know if they were eventually able to control the fires or all the bombs had gone off, and you know, eventually I think we were able to go home that night. A lot of people did not have homes to go back to. We were one of the lucky ones who their house, my home was, or my parents' house was not affected, but loads of people did not have homes to return to because everything was burnt to the ground. And yeah, that was it. I don't remember I think we went back to school the next day, and that's how we grew up. You know, I was thinking about it, you know, this week, and I was thinking we grew up not really having the time to process anything, you know. It's in this day and age that mental health is a thing, and people, you know, are more emotionally aware of what's going on. But then you just get on with it. Things happen and you're supposed to get on and go to school and go to work, you know. Yeah, so I think I went back to school the next day, you know. I think I went back to school the next day from memory. But I never really processed it, like I said, you know. We just got on, and yeah, we just got on and continued life, you know. But yeah, that's my story. That's what happened that's my memory of June the 27th, 2002, where there was an explosion in Lagos State, Nigeria. I lived I would say about 15 minutes away from where these explosions happened, and they traveled very far. So obviously I was affected. I lived in Isolo, and you know, the source of the explosion was a naval office base or Air Force base, actually based in Isolo. So yeah, that's it. That's the story. I just wanted to share with you guys a bit about that. I know on this channel I talk mostly about fragrance and beauty and lifestyle and all of that stuff, but yeah, part of the lifestyle is life, you know, in general, and I just thought I would share that story with you guys. If you want to hear more about the things I experienced or I have experienced, especially living in Nigeria, I don't mean to traumatize anyone, but if you want to hear my stories, let me know in the comment section. Very happy to relive the moments and actually process them and share them at my pace. So yeah, let me know. Feel free and comment down in the comment section. Again, I want to send my deepest condolences to anyone who may have lost a loved one, lost their homes, and who are still dealing with the trauma of that explosion or any explosion at all. Yeah, I really deeply empathize with you. And yeah, that's it, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and do all of that good stuff. Like, share, and subscribe. And until I see you again in my next video, I look forward to seeing you again in my next video. Stay beautiful, stay blessed. Hi and bye.